Swivl Sessions, interviews with field service entrepreneurs. Get insights and strategies from those who took the leap and risked it all to start their own home service companies. Fun conversation with Josh Miller of J. Miller Home Services in Gainesville. Jeremy, what do you got?
Yeah, I really appreciate Josh's resourcefulness and grit. He is determined to make J. Miller Home Services succeed by any means necessary, high-tech or low-tech. High-tech, he's using the internet to his advantage, and then he's also got a big sticker on his truck, and he's getting business that way, and I really love that about him.
Reliability is the word that keeps jumping in my head. He's got a wife that helps him run the business. He's got 5 kids keeping him motivated to run the business, and he just gets it all done no matter what the job is. Reliability. Josh Miller, J. Miller Home Services. Enjoy the show. All right, welcome to Swivl Sessions, where we dive into the world of field service entrepreneurship. Now, before we get into today's interview, which we're both looking forward to, I'm going to introduce you to my co-host, Josh. First off, there's Jeremy, who has just recently been taken off the Tyson Christmas card list because not only did he fail to bring me any Thanksgiving leftovers that his better half made, but he forgot to bring me anything for my birthday. So that's the kind of guy we're dealing with, Josh.
Well, thanks for those kind words, Tyson. He's our expert at handling customer challenges and keeping everything on track. Fair warning, if you catch him leaning into his screen like it owes him some money, it's because he's finally admitted he needs his glasses. Honestly, we're amazed he's made it this far without walking to the walls of our office here. So anyway, there's Tyson.
I'm of an age, Josh. That's all it is. So today we're excited to introduce Josh Miller. He's the founder and owner of J. Miller Home Services, and they're a highly regarded lawn care handyman service company based in Gainesville, Georgia. And they offer a wide range of services, tackle just about any project you can think of, basically. They can do it all. They can do it all well. Lawn care services to any home project you can think of. And we're really looking forward to hearing all about his journey to entrepreneurship. Josh, welcome to Swivl Sessions. It's great to have you. How are things going over there in Gainesville?
Pretty good, pretty busy. Staying out of trouble, you know.
Trying to stay warm.
All the usual stuff, right?
Yeah.
Josh, tell us about your background. How did you get into this business? Maybe tell us about some of your experiences before you got into this entrepreneurship and what led you here.
So my great-grandfather, he was a builder when he was younger. He's dead now, but he actually started building Colorado Springs from the hand down. That's actually one of my go-to people when someone says that I can't do it, I go ahead and prove them wrong. My grandfather did, so could I. I originally started doing some construction when I was younger, and then I got into flooring with my brothers. All two of my brothers. They originally started doing flooring with me, and we all trained together and all that. And then I did some moving around and then ended up out here in Georgia. One of the biggest things that I ended up doing while I was out here was working for Linear Islands. And I started from scratch. I moved to the flooring industry of the United States. The state of Georgia is the flooring industry. There was no work for me out here. So I started from scratch, started as a dishwasher, worked my way up to a manager, ended up having 3 more kids in the process and all that. And then I turned around, it was working 12 to 15 hours a day. And I said, I miss my old stuff. So I started my own company. My wife said, hey, why don't you just go do what you like to do? And here I am.
Now, getting into the company, I know that had to be kind of like the aha moment where you realized I'm working too hard for other people. I want to work for myself.
Yes.
Were those expectations met when you started J. Miller Home Services?
When I started, no, it was very slow, and I had to work from scratch. 2 of the major companies that I actually went through was Angie's and Handy Pro, which is now Angie's. I tried to do what is that one? I can't remember the name of that one, but I started with those guys, and people liked my work versus the Handy Pro services. And they're like, listen, they keep sending me all kinds of random different people. Why don't you just keep working for me? And that's how I started out with customers, so, and then one person led to another. And then next thing you know, I got a whole bunch of people. So,
And
but
were there any hurdles that you kind of you had to get over in starting that and getting it going?
yes, a lot of the hurdles were just trying to put my name out there. So basically, you tell a friend, she tells a friend. One of the biggest things I ended up doing was getting on Better Business Bureau. That helped quite a bit. And then I turned around and went to Google, put myself on Google. That was no hits whatsoever. I put myself on Facebook and TikTok, Instagram, and I get one or two hits here and there. But the majority of all the hits that I usually get is mostly from my back of my car.
So, okay, so you're running ads all over the place. What is your customer base looking like now? Who are your customers?
The
Your bread and
customers
butter,
that
that is.
basically whoever I started with is who I still have now to this day. I add on quite a few more customers as time goes by, But my clientele averages between 15 to 30 people.
Okay. Okay.
I just
And when did
recently,
you start this?
3 years ago,
3 years ago. Okay. That's when
I
you
just
you
recently,
started the business and
I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
I just recently got into some condos here maybe about a month ago, and they've been keeping me
Nice.
quite busy over there too. Things are looking bigger and better every year. So that's the biggest thing,
Awesome.
is just keep your head up, keep going with what you're doing.
So moving out of residential, you found a little bit of commercial work there too with the
And
condos.
that's the next step,
Nice.
is getting into the commercial, getting some more people added on to my company. I have a few people that I'm looking at hiring, but gotta wait for the business to pop in before I can actually do so.
Okay, so it's not just you at this point. You have a few guys working with you.
No, nobody's working yet. Some people that I've worked for before in the past, come through and, from time to time help me out in some jobs.
Okay.
You said you've got the ad on the back of the car, which trust me, those things are effective because you see them all over town and they do work. I was curious what other kinds of technology you might use. I know you mentioned that your wife was doing a lot of your estimates and invoicing out of there. Do you guys use any type of technology or platform for that?
I do have a website. It's called J Miller HS. Um, jmillerhs.com. Go on there and see the website for there. Like I said, Facebook, TikTok, do some stuff on Instagram, but not a whole heck of a lot. And then
How do you send your invoices?
invoice is all paper.
Is it okay?
I'm working on going electronic, but as of right now, it's all paper.
Well, when you get a chance, we need you to check us out because what we do is we make things easier for smaller companies like yourself with kind of a core features that are all free. Sending invoices, estimates, your CRM, your customers, scheduling. We've got the scheduling through their through a website. So there's all kinds of things you might want to look at.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Josh, we talk about the iron triangle in the home services industry, and that kind of pick two of these descriptions for your company, for you and your company: quality, speed, and price. Could you pick two of those out that really stand out? I mean, I know you do probably all three, but
Quality
maybe
and
two of
speed.
them. Your quality and speed. Okay. Okay. I'm sure your customers
Prices,
appreciate that, and that's probably what,
prices are, for what I gather, I'm more on the low ball side of pricing wise, so that's kind of a bonus for people to know. When it comes
yeah.
down
So you're
to,
kind of all three.
yeah, I mean, I I I like to give people, there's people out there that are just like me that are still trying to make it in the world, and they need that extra boost. So there's veterans. I help out veterans from time to time. They
Very good.
they're only working on if they get paid, and that doesn't help
Yeah.
them whatsoever. So try to help them out the best way possible too.
Nice.
Josh, what would you say some of the goals would be for J Miller Home Services down the road? What are you hoping to accomplish here in the next maybe few years?
Expansion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
Is that a physical expansion of your footprint, or like your
Yeah.
customer footprint,
Customer
or bringing
footprint
on more
or
guys?
physical. Yeah. Bringing on more guys, all the above, because
Okay.
more guys, more work, uh, more company footprint, and that's one of the biggest things. I want to make sure that I'm known for what I do.
And for an exit strategy, I know that that's down the road, but is this something that you might want to pass on to your son, or do you want to possibly sell if the
Well,
timing is right?
if the time is right, possibly so. For the time being, it's what I do right now and it's what I like to do. So, some of my customers, they hope to keep me going until the day they die. So,
That's good.
So it's a win-win. You make them happy,
yeah,
and you enjoy what you're doing.
absolutely. But even still, some of my customers, they load the crap out of me. But in the process, you also got to think that if you bring on other people to do their work, are they still going to be happy with the services? So that's one of the things I also look at too. Is if the quality isn't there, then the person that I'm hiring isn't worth keeping on there either.
So
Wait,
looking at your services, Josh, I was curious. Obviously, I saw the lawn care, but then you said any home services that are on your website with your beautiful family. I saw some of those pictures there. What are some of the projects that you like to do on
Uh,
people's homes?
Flooring for one.
Okay,
I've got 27 years, so I do all types of flooring from hardwood to ceramic tile to VCT to laminate, carpet. I love doing carpet. Oh, when it comes down to other projects that I've been doing since I started this business, been a whole lot of deck repairs, fence
nice.
repairs, and just basic odds and end honeydew list is what a lot of people like to call it. Hanging curtains, so on and so forth.
a
So
lot of carpentry work going on there
yeah,
and
yeah,
woodworking. Yeah.
I saw a great picture of some stonework that you did too. It looks like
yeah. They actually did that during COVID season. I found a
nice.
few.
Which was a killer for a lot of businesses. So that's good that you can do that.
Yeah, I'm glad you survived that. Now, were you at Lanier Islands? What were you doing? Were you running uh like customer facing type things? Okay. Yeah, your typical logistics type duties. Okay. Okay. Very good.
Well, moving on to the future, I know that you mentioned that you're enjoying what you're doing and you're enjoying dealing with your customers and getting over that hurdle of just starting your own company, which is what a lot of these talks tend to focus on. I was wondering what you might want to share with someone that's considering doing what you're doing now about making that jump into entrepreneurship. What kind of advice would you give someone down the road that is thinking about doing this? Talk about reliability. Gosh, I know you mentioned that's one of the things that you take a lot of pride in. I'm sure there are horror stories out there from customers that want something done and it turns out worse than it was when they started. Give us an example of something that you're proud of as far as reliability goes.
Yeah, like a
Take,
nice
take,
big project that you did. Good. That's good.
and was that someone that contacted you from your website or from the back of your car? Yeah. So you get a lot of leads from that then.
Yeah. I'm curious. And I've always wondered this when people have their business on the back of their truck with a phone number. Do they ever call you and say, "Hey, I'm right behind you, and I have a problem"? Or do they pull up next to you? I'm curious how that works. Yeah.
Of all the people we've talked to, Josh, that's the first time I've heard that it's comforting to know that those do work and they work well for people.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would recommend is we have a free website builder and it's connected to a scheduler where people can schedule work and it's that's the only thing and looking at your website, which looks great, that's the only thing that I don't know how they would be able to schedule anything, but um, that's just one aspect that we offer with with our free features. So yeah. Well, for 3 years, it sounds like you're doing pretty darn good. And Jeremy and I just want to thank you. It's been an enlightening conversation, just hearing how much you're enjoying what you do, and obviously reliability being a big part of that. We love to hear that from people that have their own companies. And so we want to thank you for sharing those valuable insights and those stories. It's always good to see how much hard work and dedication that you've put into J. Miller Home Services and how it's obviously paying off for you and your wife. So. And if you're listening or you're watching in the greater Gainesville, Jefferson, Winder, Dawsonville, or even Atlanta area, and you're in need of any lawn care, home improvement, or some just good old-fashioned handyman work, make sure to reach out to J. Miller Home Services. You can find their contact information right there, and believe me, you can trust that you're working with a true and reliable expert in the field. Once again, Josh, thank you for being here with us on Swivl Sessions. Thanks for listening or watching. Swivl's field service software is everything you need to run your field service for free. Till next time, check us out at swivl.tech. That's SWIVL.tech. And Jeremy?
That's a wrap.